Look, our mission remains exactly what I spoke about earlier, about investor protection, promoting capital formation, and the markets in the middle. This is a recent decision, just a handful of days ago. We were pleased from that decision, recognizing the importance of protecting investors on the institutional investors in that, and that the court movement with regard to fair notice, and while disappointed on what they said about retail investors, we're still looking at it and assessing that opinion.
Switching gears, I want to ask you about crypto.
There you go, Jennifer.
You didn't think I was going to let you off the hook, Chair Gensler, did you? All right, so last week we got a major ruling from the Southern District of New York on Ripple. How does this ruling change your approach, if at all, your abilities when it comes to regulating crypto and specifically crypto exchanges?
Look, our approach has been the same. It's about protecting investors, facilitating those who want to raise money, and the markets in the middle. And that's true whether it's in other parts of the securities markets or the parts of the crypto markets that are securities. And in terms of the decision, we're still taking a look at it. We're pleased with how the court's addressed itself to that a token for institutional investors is a security, how they address themselves to fair notice, disappointed in other aspect about retail investors, but we're still taking a look at that and considering it. Jennifer, you're asking good questions, but there's ongoing litigation with regard to a number of these crypto platforms, and these crypto platforms are commingling a number of services that you've seen on these crypto platforms where they could well be trading against their customers, bundling up a bunch of services that we would not allow in any other parts of our capital markets. So the investing public comes first. That's how our securities laws were first written. Companies raising money in the markets as well, and really protecting them and protecting the integrity of the markets. But I'm not able to go into any ongoing enforcement matters. Again, it's too early. This was like 3 business days ago. But I would note, the agency has rules on the books right now. It's about full, fair, and truthful disclosure if you're raising money from the public and the public's anticipating profit based on the efforts of others. That's why Roosevelt called it the Truth in Securities Act. There's rules on the books about what it means to be a securities exchange, what it means to be a broker, an investment advisor. There are rules on the books. We've also put forward or even adopted rules with regard to broker-dealers in this space called special purpose broker-dealers. We put forward proposals with regard to the safeguarding of those assets, or even exchanges in what's called the decentralized finance space. So we've done some of that, but again, we'll continue to consider.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And guys, we have Gary Gensler is about to lay down the hammer. We know he's not done. And we know 99% of these cryptos are going to be gone. Going towards the end of this year, going into next year, liquidity is going to start shrinking in the legacy market. And we know they have to destroy this current system in order to bring in the 4th Industrial Revolution. But guys, don't forget we have plenty of videos of Gary Gensler at MIT talking about crypto, saying majority of the cryptos are not securities, and then all of a sudden becomes the SEC chair, and then he's all against the space. And we know the Ripple XRP case was nothing but a movie, a way for them to kick the regulation can down the road. And Gary Gensler brings up Satoshi and Bitcoin, says there's always a centralized group behind these projects. And we know he's telling the truth. And we know for a fact the central banks are 100% behind Bitcoin. But before Gary Gensler lays down the hammer, guys, we know a distraction has to come in. And we know when it comes to the NWO, they cause a problem, wait for the reaction, and run in with the solution. We have so many moving pieces going on, and we know it's all connected. There's nothing but a web of deceit. And we have Kathy Woods talking about the fourth industrial revolution. We know she's invested in the robots, algorithms, and drones are going to take over this economy. And guys, we have another attack on the food supply. We know food and water is going to be under attack so they can bring in the lab food. Remember, the chef is no longer preparing. Now it's the scientist. And we have Janet Yellen on China. And guys, we know we hear those drums are beating. You're witnessing the fall of America to Babylon 2.0 and the rise of China the dragon along with that digital yuan backed by that digital SDR. And guys, remember, this was planned in the 70s. So it took the NWO 50 years to get to this point. So remember, guys, these are men with a plan. And I suggest you get your own plan. Remember, guys, get in the lab. Get prepared, because you do not want to fall for the devil's tricks. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows. When it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Are asked by members of Congress, both the House and the Senate, on a regular basis to look at their various pieces of legislation, and we generally give them our feedback directly rather than through the interviews on the.
So decentralization, good idea, bad idea in general?
Yeah, I'm going to again. I'm going to save our comments on any draft legislation for our members that are asking us directly. But this field, the crypto field, Satoshi Nakamoto writes an 8-page paper, and it was at the core of that paper was this concept of moving value on the internet without a central intermediary, a central bank or a commercial bank, but moving value on the internet. Whomever Satoshi was. This field is actually quite centralized. Around each of the tokens, there tends to be a group of entrepreneurs, and you can find a website and you can look, and there's maybe a Twitter account and somebody that might even have a name of a CEO or CTO, Chief Technology Officer. Around the platforms, they're quite centralized as well. So this is a field that is not immune to the economics of finance. Since in antiquity, finance tends towards some centralization, and that's what we've seen happen in the crypto field as well. I think over the last 6 years, we at the SEC have brought, settled, or litigated somewhere close to 150 actions in the crypto field. So I don't know what the next 6 months will hold, and I'm not at liberty to speak about any one enforcement action. But we're really focused on protecting the integrity of the markets, the investing public, capital formation, as I said earlier, and trying to bring greater compliance within this field.
Well, we actually bought NVIDIA because we knew it was going to be a player in autonomous vehicles, autonomous taxi platforms. We bought it in 2014 when the fund began at $5 and rode it up to $350 and then saw it take off with AI and leave many other companies that we think are going to be huge beneficiaries of AI, leave them behind. So we basically reallocated allocated into other AI plays that are not as obvious. NVIDIA is very obvious now. Everybody knows it. It's priced accordingly, 25 times revenues. We're recycling. Tesla's the biggest AI play opportunity out there, and it's roughly seven times revenue.
War in Ukraine, a critical deal allowing the nation to export grain via the Black Sea expires today, and Russia says it will suspend its role in that agreement. The truce was brokered last summer by Turkey and the United Nations and aimed to take pressure off the global food system by allowing grain from Ukraine to be exported safely. The deal was successful in bringing down prices of key grains. So checking on them in anticipation of this deal having some problems. We've seen wheat that had been ticking higher in anticipation of the decision. Right now, it's little changed. The move all coming is
on tariffs. We put tariffs in place on China because we had underlying concerns about unfair trade practices, particularly those affecting intellectual property and technology transfer. And those concerns really have not been addressed. We're undergoing a 4-year required review of tariffs. And of course, China also retaliated, putting tariffs in place on us. We have to see what comes out of the 4-year review. But I would emphasize that really the underlying concerns we have not yet been addressed, and we need to work on that going forward.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Going to a different economy. And we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box, provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book Plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.